Okay, I'm Steve Mace of Solwise, and what I'm going to do now is start a series of videos discussing the Neutron managed system from EnGenius. So the Neutron system from EnGenius has been around for a couple of years now. And what it effectively is, or essentially is a suite of switches and access point products. Example set of switches here, example set of access point products here, which give you full management of the configuration, management, problem solving and diagnostics of an integrated Wi-Fi system. So what we've got is first of all a series of management switches, or a selection of management switches. So what these are high-spec PoE switches or non-PoE switches. By that I mean they are switches which have full functionality and management that you'd expect to see in a high-end switch. And added to that, they've also got potentially PoE capability. So there's PoE and non-PoE versions. And also the key part is they've got additional software on them which actually does the management and control of your access points at a site. Now, switches range in sizes from this little piddler here, which has just 8 LAN ports. This is a little PoE switch, 8 LAN ports, 4 with PoE, total of 60 watts. And that can manage up to 20 access points on a network. We have the most popular model here, which is the 5912. That's the next one down the list, which is 8 ports again. All these are gig LAN ports and all these products, by the way. 8 ports again. But this has 120 watt PoE functionality and 50 access points management. And then we have a range of big bad boys like this one down at the bottom with 24, 48 LAN ports with PoE or no PoE. And we're talking about PoE power up to, I think, 700 watts or something like that total. So a whole good range of about 9 or 10 different switches to choose from, depending upon whether you want PoE, not PoE, blah, blah, blah. And to augment that, we've got a range of access points. Now, this is just a small selection of the access points. I think in total there are something about 16 different access points you can choose from. We've got the traditional indoor ceiling mount access points, different speeds, 2.4 gig dual band, 11 AC, 11 AC wave 2, the whole range of indoor access points. You've even got things like this little beastie, which is an on-the-wall access point, so it's designed to actually fit over a normal mains wall box. So PoE comes in the wall box, and this just sits on the front, giving a range of LAN ports and Wi-Fi functions. You've also got about half a dozen different outdoor. I'll pick this beast up. See, good look at that. That's sexy, that, isn't it? Got a whole range of outdoor access points. Yet again, dual band, 11 AC, wave 2 to choose from. Right up to, I think the current top of the range one now is something like 1.7 gig 11 AC, giving a total combined 2.4 and 5 gig Wi-Fi speed of about, I think it's about 2.6 gig. So really over the top access points. But so there's about half a dozen different outdoor ones to choose from. So you take all these products together, and it's a very extensive product range now. Say about 9 or 10 switches. You've got about 9 or 10 indoor ones to choose from, and about half a dozen outdoor ones. So we're talking about 25 to 30 different whole products in the range to mix and match for any environment or any customer application. To augment this lot, you've also got a free software suite package that you can download and install. It's free, there's no license fees, and that applies to the whole of this range. There are no license fees, no ongoing charges for firmware updates. You're covered basically for life as far as that sort of thing is concerned. There's no ongoing charges, that sort of thing. And I say you can also now download and install a server-based software package which gives multi-site capability, cloud functionality, the ability to manage. It's been tentatively limited to 1,000 access points per server, and user control is something like about 10,000 users or something like that. So a very extensive whole family of products and software support programs. And the key thing is, as I say, there are no ongoing charges for this. Once you buy the kit, you've got it for life. And certainly, as of the time of this video, the products have actually also now got a lifetime warranty. So you buy the access point, you register it with EnGenius, you've then got a lifetime warranty of the product. So, and yet again, no additional charges for any of that. So, a very good range of products. We quite like the Neutron system. It does seem to do exactly what it says on the tin. The range of products available for it, by that I mean access points, and the range of switches is very extensive. There's very little you can think of that hasn't been covered by a product base. They've even now added mesh functionality to it, which really not really suitable for an outdoor environment for various reasons, which I can come to later on. But for indoor, if there's that particularly tight spot that you can't actually get a cable to, then you can actually mesh, piggyback onto an existing unit. Yet again, that's all controller based. There's even a little camera now that you can actually get. The camera has Wi-Fi and is also part of the Neutron system. And recently what they've done is there's been a selection of new Wave 2 access points which have come onto the range, which are also Neutron managed. I'll explain what I mean by that. Traditionally, all of the Neutron stuff had an EWS part code. So you had, I think it's an EWS 860. I think this is an EWS 310. But now we've got some new products on, which traditionally have not been Neutron controllable or manageable, but which now will have some limited functionality through the Neutron system. So, for example, this is a new indoor access point. It's called the EAP 1300 from EnGenius. It's a Wave 2 product. And as well as being a very highly functional standalone access point, it now also can form part of a Neutron system. There is a slight caveat, a slight difference in the product's functionality. Traditional EWS products, for example, they will support, for example, as I say, meshing and captive portal functionality, for example, and full diagnostics, client diagnostics, access point diagnostics, network support diagnostics, etc. These newer low cost, relatively speaking, I mean low cost between the EWS equivalent, these newer access points, although they can be configured and managed to some extent by the Neutron system, some of the functionality has actually been chopped out. I think the reason for the chopping out, it may be a marketing issue, it may be the fact that the hardware in these new ones just isn't up to the job of being part of a managed system, but some of the functionality has been chopped out. So for example, these won't do meshing, these won't do captive portal, and some of the diagnostics capabilities are not available on these. So they can still be block configured, block managed. We can do group management, project management of these access points, but some of those higher functions are actually not available on these. If you want the full gamut of functions, you need to go for what we call the EWS model range. But still, it goes onward and upward. New models appearing all the time, new functions appearing all the time. And I say it's backed up by that free software package that you can download and install, which very, very intuitive, very, very easy to use software. Later on in these videos, I'll show you some screenshots and we'll go through the configuration of what you see when you actually start going into one of these controller functions. And I'll also show the server option as well, and you'll quickly appreciate that once you know how to do the management through the switch functionality, you are automatically going to have no issues going over to using the server-based system. The front ends are virtually identical, the functions are virtually identical. There's just extra levels of basically there's extra levels of complexity added to cope with the options of a considerably higher number of access points and the capability of multi-site functionality. At the moment, the controllers are really for a single site, so you can't have a controller at site A which can actually manage devices at site B. It can only manage the access points at the site in which it is installed. But as soon as you go for the Easy Master software package that I've been talking about, you can then add multi-site capability and bring all the sites together under a single umbrella for management and configuration. So that's the hardware. There are actually some videos on our website where I've done more specific videos describing the actual hardware of the various elements of this system, but that gives you an idea of what the hardware options are. So it's very extensive. So what I'll do now is go through a series of videos, go in more depth of what we're talking about here, going into the configuration, discussing some of the features and functions that the Neutron system gives you in more in-depth detail. But that sort of gives you an idea of the hardware. Thank you.